Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Outdoor Mason Post Light. This is the 3440-810. We have a lot of things to talk about. So in addition to this post light, there's also there's Mason hanging lights in different sizes. There's also three different Mason sconces. I actually own the medium Mason sconces in my own house, so I can tell you how beautiful they are. People love those. Okay, let's get into the size of the fixture itself. It's going to be 17 inches high, and that's measured from the bottom of the collar, and the collar is, I'm dropping this, the collar is the part that goes over the post, and then you're going to have 13.8 inches in diameter, and that's going to be from these points. So you've got 13.80 by 17 high. Now let's talk about a couple more things. Let's talk about let's talk about what's going to go inside of this. So you're going to, and how you mount it and all those good things. So this is going to be using what's called a collar, and the collar actually has a set screw right here. You can see it right there. It has a hex thing that just kind of goes in. That's going to press up against your post. The little pads are going to go in this too. You can use this on a lot of different things. So you can buy the 71-inch post from us, and you can even cut that down if you wanted to in the field. So let's say you only wanted it to be 60 inches. It's aluminum and it's really easy to cut. So you can do that. So you can get the 71-inch post from us. You can also get this 3-inch diameter pier mount. And this would go on something like a wall coming, like a 3-foot wall or 4-foot wall, or maybe a pier coming up that you're going to have, two of those at the end of your driveway, and you're going to have this on top. That's a great way to go too. But if you guys already have your own 3-inch round diameter post in the yard someplace, this will go right over that without a problem. So you don't have to necessarily buy the post from us if you already have it. However, if you guys are going to be using your own post, I would expect that you probably want to go with the black finish, because that's going to be the easiest finish for you to match. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. So let's kind of keep going with those post and pier mount story. When you have those, it's going to be using this thing on the bottom. It's going to be automatically there. It's called a flange, and the flange basically sits on whatever you're putting this onto. If you're going to be using the 71-inch post, I expect you're going to dig a little hole, you're going to pour some concrete in there, and you're going to use, oops, sorry about that, you're going to use from us what's called a J-bolt. And a J-bolt, you're going to get 4 of these with this and with that big post. And these are going to sink inside of that wet concrete. You're going to have this obviously off, so we'll take that part off. So there's a little template, a paper template that comes with this. You're going to lay that on the concrete, and then you're going to put these in exactly the way they're supposed to be. Later on, when the concrete is all done and cured, you're going to come back, and it doesn't matter if it's a post or the pier mount, these will drop right over those screws and then just bolt it on, so it's very secure. Show you more information about that is we're going to look at the installations instructions. So if you're on the page for this on HandmadeInVermont.com, look over on that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say, click here for installations instructions PDF. So open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list. It's going to show you how everything goes together, which is super easy. It's going to show you how that glass goes into this part up here. This is actually another collar that has 2 little screws on it that come right out, and it goes on pretty quick. But it's going to show you how all these things work together. So take advantage of those things if you can, because they're always on all of the different pages. If you're going to be putting this, if you're going to be using the post, and then you're going to be putting it into like a gravel driveway or into the grass or into some mulch, you'll not need this. This is the cover cap. So when you see the pull-down menu where it says, choose your post or choose your pier mount and then choose your cover cap, this is the cover cap. Most likely, if you have your post application on the bottom above grade, somehow for some reason your concrete is above grade, you might want to do this. On this piece, you definitely want to do it. So the whole idea is, when you have these pieces popping out of this thing, you don't want to look at them, especially if it's on a nice, wall or something like that. This is just going to kind of go down over it, and it's going to cover up all of those attachments. So just keep that in mind. That's why this thing exists in the times you need it or the times you need it. Okay, so moving on from there, why don't we talk about a couple other things. Let's talk about why don't we talk about glass really quick. So Hubbardton's glass is this beautiful hand-blown glass. I've shown this in a couple other videos where we talk about these mason sconces and mason hanging pieces. This one is amazing. So it's very thick on the bottom, and what happens is the light's going to come down, it's going to pool on the bottom. Hubbardton sources their glass from only the best glass makers. This is the equivalent of something like Steuben that you'd get at a glass gallery and put on your coffee table and just look at all the time. But in Hubbardton's world, you get a chance to use this, as architecture in your home. So take advantage of that too. So this is going to be going into the top of this. And you'll notice this collar, you can see it right here, this is basically kind of hanging, okay? And the idea is that when you have this out there, and we do a lot of oceanfront and mountaintop stuff where there's amazing winds, especially with the weather changing a lot, there's a lot of heavy winds out in the world, so the winds can go right through this to begin with, which is great. It's also going to go around that round glass, so you know, you see a lot of the new buildings being built, skyscrapers, and they're rounded, same deal, so the wind's just going to kind of go around it. And the other thing is, any wind that does hit it, it's just going to slowly push it up a little bit. And what that does is it takes a lot of the pressure off of the glass and off of this ring here. So this is a very ingenious way of designing this, that you know, it can just kind of hang. If you've ever seen pictures of the White House in Washington, D.C., you'll notice that all of their lanterns hanging there have these guide wires or guide chains going up. And the same idea, it's going to let it sway just enough to take the pressure off of that. Okay, let's talk about what's going on inside of this as far as lamping goes. It's going to be using a medium base socket. Okay, we all grew up with this, very easy to use. The glass on this is really going to dictate what can go into this. So you'll notice that the neck on this is just too big to get in. Well, this is an A19, so this is an A19, won't fit. A15 actually will fit. So this is an A15, and that'll fit okay. What they recommend is called a CA-10. So CA-10 is basically this kind of idea of a bulb. So it's either a flame tip or it's going to be a tubular shape. Actually not tubular, but we're going to call it torpedo. This is the tubular one I'll get into in a second. So the idea is with this is it's very thin and it can get into that neck. These generally max out at 60 watts, either incandescent or 60 watt equivalent LED. And the max on this is 60 watt equivalent, 60 watt max for incandescent anyway. And these come in frosted or clear. I would probably do clear on this fixture because the glass is clear. However, all that aside, this is a T10. So a T10 is used in exit signs, and you can get this frosted and clear. Usually these max out at 60 watt equivalent for an LED. That's fine. You can definitely do that in this too if you want to. If you guys need even more light than this, I actually did some research and I ended up finding it on Wayfair. So I'm not a big Wayfair fan myself. However, it was there. It was a little expensive, but there is a 100 watt equivalent version of this, okay, and it was 16 watts. So that threw out quite a bit of light. So you know, we know it's out there if you guys want to get more light out of this than a 60 watt or 60 watt equivalent. Getting into the color of light with LEDs, I talk about it all the time. 2700 Kelvin is the setting sun look. That's going to be that kind of yellow light, which could be very pretty out of this. But you know, the whiter the light, the more lumens you get out of it. Way on the other side of that is going to be daylight, and daylight is a very cold light. I don't think daylight's going to be nice coming out of this. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 Kelvin. In the middle of that is going to be called warm white. Warm white is 3,000 Kelvin. That's the light that's coming down on me right now from the bulbs above. These are all LEDs. People think these are incandescent because they're so good, but they're actually LEDs. It's a nice warm glow. So if I were you, I'd probably end up going with something like this with a 3,000 Kelvin 60 watt equivalent bulb, and you can find it at any hardware store. You might be able to find these at your local drugstore. Even your grocery store should probably having these kind of things by now, but you can definitely find them at any home center. Let's talk about something else. Same kind of idea. They only use aircraft grade aluminum to make all of their outdoor lighting, and the reason they do that is because aluminum holds up better than any other material in harsh, extreme weather. When you go out and you're out in the world, look up and you'll see those jet airlines flying up there way above your head. They're all made out of aluminum for a reason, because it holds up beautifully, it welds beautifully, it doesn't rust, it's very light, and it's just the best material to use outside. So on top of that, they have developed these outdoor baked epoxy powder coats that can go over this and make them pretty much indestructible, and we're going to talk about that right now. So how they do this, you'll notice in the picture next to me, there's a picture of a woman, and she's actually shooting powdered finish at the fixture. And they take the fixture, let's say this is the fixture to begin with, okay? They wire it up with a wire here, a wire coming down. They run a small amount of electricity through it to make it positive. And what that does, it makes it attract everything around it. So when she's over there spraying little bits of powdered finish, what it's going to do, it's going to go over the entire fixture. It's going to get into every nook, every cranny, top, bottom, sides, the whole thing. They're going to take that fixture, they're going to put it into an oven. That's going to melt that down and make it into a hard epoxy shell. And it makes it, incredibly strong. because they do this, and these things have been tested in these wind chambers where they have shot, salty seawater at them, basically, because that's what's going to happen on a beach, right? Where a lot of these things are going to end up. They had to really do that to make sure that they're going to hold up for you. And because they have done that, they offer the best warranty for the entire lighting industry. And you can see that over on the left-hand side of your screen. Limited lifetime warranty for residential use, and check it out, and it'll really make you feel better about their products. Cool. Okay. Moving on from there, why don't we talk about our showroom in Vermont. We have over 350 Hubbardton Forge fixtures spread across 2 floors. We actually have a What's on Display page on our website. It's over in the red tabs over on the left-hand side of your screen, so you can open up that and check it out. Showroom has also a clearance center. So clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's an amazing deal for you. It's returns, discontinued things, and showroom samples. If you guys are going to come visit us, do me a favor, bring a big SUV, if you can, if you have one, only because the boxes are set up for shipping. Measure everything you can think of. So measure with a measuring tape, measure your ceilings, measure counters, tables, distances between junction boxes and things like ceilings, because if you're looking, you want to make sure when you're looking at these things that they're going to be able to be used by you for your needs, okay? And then also bring an iPad. If you guys are doing a project and you have a tablet laying around at home, take pictures with that. Take pictures, and you can bring that tablet in, and we can go through all those pictures together and look and see what you guys are doing, and I can help you out on that, okay? So when you buy your Hubbardton Forge fixtures from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont, and we're the only dealer with 90-day returns and no restocking fees. No one else does that. Some larger items, generally big things on pallets and custom things, are going to be non-returnable. We'll always tell you that on the page for it, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. And then on top of all that, we offer a rush program. So in order for you to get all of these different finishes, Hubbardton Forge doesn't stock. It takes generally about 3 to 4 weeks to get product out. We can cut that time in half, and it is super, super inexpensive. A lot of people don't even know about it. If you want to know about it, the best thing to do is just drop me a quick email, sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. You can also call 802-446-2400 during business hours. And so I'm here every day except Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time if you guys want to talk to me. And then you can email us 7 days a week at sales@HandmadeInVermont.com, and we spell out the word Vermont. So I think that kind of wraps things up on this. You guys have any questions at all, let me know. Thank you for stopping in today. Take care. Bye-bye.